All right, we just started a whole new Mars Saturn cycle, and that will tell us what we will be worrying about over the next 2 years. And because it's hitting in the same sign as its last conjunction 2 years ago, it's important for us to understand those struggles of the past 2 years in order to anticipate the challenges and what we can expect in the next cycle. When we know the parameters of where challenges can occur, we can go into the future with more preparation, more security, more conscious of our own part of the challenges that may be coming at us. And when we know what may worry us in general, we can go into it less worried. That's the magic of astrology. My dog settle over there. Mars and Saturn are considered the malefics in astrology, and that means that they are the ones that bring challenges, they bring difficulty, strife, the hard-won lessons. But this summit happens every 2 years or so, and the last one was in March of 2020. Something very significant happened in March of 2020 that we all remember. This double malefic agreement flavored the challenges, the fights, the suffering. So what does it mean when planets make a conjunction? When planets are conjoined from Earth, it appears that they are together as one. They're on the same degree of the zodiac, and they join their energies into one entity. So one way to picture this is, I was thinking about the Hulk and Bruce Banner. They share one body, but they're two completely different entities. They have their own agendas, they have their own personalities. The Hulk is impulsive and angry and can be destructive, and Bruce Banner is a hard-working, serious physicist who wants to be in control. For simplicity's sake, let's say that the Hulk is Mars and Bruce Banner is Saturn. And when they join, they melt into one. They become that half and half version, half Hulk, half Bruce Banner. We'll call him Hulk Banner. And he doesn't have the extremity, that extreme raw power of the Hulk, the anger, the strength, and he doesn't have that off the charts brilliance and control of mind and body as Bruce Banner. But each separate entity gives away some of its superpower, some of its autonomy and gifts in order to compromise and combine, and they become one mind. So Mars and Saturn are like one mind right now, and they're creating this master plan, this curriculum of puzzles and escape rooms of our lives in the next 2 years. The summit of Mars and Saturn in 2020 hit at 0 degrees Aquarius. Mars and Saturn were alone in Aquarius, and they decided what the collective and individuals needed to do to forge ahead, interacting with the elements of power and force and challenge and pain, responsibility, social injustice, suffering, loss, huge upheavals in the old systems. The curriculum of what we worried about from March of 2020 until April 2022 has come to an end, sort of. The new Mars-Saturn conjunction has... Somebody laid an egg. Congratulations. You did it. This new Mars-Saturn conjunction has happened again in Aquarius, further down the line in Aquarius. There are some key differences. These key differences will greatly affect what we'll experience and what we need to anticipate the challenges of the next 2 years. In order to get some nuance on the difference of these two malefic conjunctions in Aquarius, we can look to the Sabian Symbols. In 2020, the Sabian symbol of 0 Aquarius was an old Adobe mission in California. I live in California, and I'm very familiar with the old Adobe missions. We also have a lot of remnants of ranchos. Ranchos were these huge swaths of land that were used to pasture cattle, and they were used to support the missions. Rancho Guajome served Mission San Luis Rey, and it was over 2,000 acres. The reason I'm saying this is in 2020, those challenges, the old Adobe mission, okay, think about if you were on a 2,000 acre piece of land. You were only there probably with your family and a few vaqueros, you know, the precursor to the North American cowboy. 2020 to 2022 was very much about that retreat into the home, a withdrawal, a separation, and a resurgence in the popularity of natural parks, natural living. Going back to a lot of people started gardens, the sourdough thing, right? Everybody was starting sourdough starters, getting chickens, starting gardens. It was really popular. That old Adobe, that mission, people were having to work together in their family groups, their small groups in order to serve the mission. Going outside was taken away from us, so that became much more valuable. People wanted to go to national parks. There was a lot of soul searching for a lot of people, and this was a time of detaching from those old paradigms. Nobody ever thought the world markets, schools, jobs, even beaches. I mean, you could not even go to the beach. You couldn't go outside to a park. It was something like we want to get amnesia about, but it really sucked. There was this fear of sickness. A lot of times in the mission system, there would be a sickness and it would just take everybody out. It was sacrifice. It was built on the blood of the native people who were enslaved to these mission constructions. In 2020 to 2022, we had a lot of thematic changes about racial injustice and our relationship to the control systems that we're living under. Those were things we were experiencing and worrying about for the last 2 years. And in contrast, this new conjunction of Mars and Saturn is falling under the Sabian symbol of Aquarius 23, which is a big bear sitting down and waving all its paws. We've gone through something really challenging in the last 2 years. We need to perform better. Not only how are we going to do better, but thinking about this image of a bear. Okay, so it's sitting down, it's waving all its paws. It looks very friendly. It's in a position that's not conducive to attack. It looks sweet, it's cute, it's funny, it's waving at us. There's still underneath of all that, a huge danger and a power that the bear can change any second. And if we don't approach it with caution and wisdom of our recent lessons, we just go ahead and want to play with the bear, we may accidentally startle it, and then we have to pay the price because the bear being startled is going to attack. What's the point? The point is that relationships need to be resumed, but there's bear-sized issues that have not just disappeared. The 0-degree Aquarius Mars Saturn conjunction started the story, and this is the next 2 years where we're going to be continuing the story. There's been a lot of change. There's been a lot of forward motion in those last 2 years. Everything's still present, and we have another go at the next 2 years to continue this saga. So a lot of the themes are going to stay the same. In other words, we cannot forget that the bear is a bear. It is a dangerous, wild animal. It can be docile, it can be cute, it can be wonderful, but it has to be respected. The issues are not going to go away. They might seem like they're pacified, they're docile, but this is a very new scab, is what Mars and Saturn are telling us. It's like, okay, you guys started something, it's not over yet, you still have more to go. There is good news. We won't have a repeat of the Mars Saturn in Aquarius episode 1. This is not reiterating the same exact story. This Mars and Saturn merger occurs with Venus present when that happens, as she's there when they're in their conjunction. One of the most exciting benefic conjunctions that occurs only once every 166 years is Jupiter and Neptune, which is happening almost concurrently. Venus is entering Pisces. It's going to be there as well. And we have a chance in the next 2 years, if we remember all the things that we learned, all this isolation and taking things for granted, like being outside, going to the store and having food on the shelf. Whoever thought toilet paper would be hard to find, right? The great benefics and the great malefics, those conjunctions are happening pretty much concurrently. They are going to be flavoring a big part of this cycle, and there's good things happening at the same time as bad things. Whereas in 2020 there were bad things and more bad things. So this is an upgrade. So with Venus influencing the Mars and Saturn 2-year cycle, there will be an increased importance and hard lessons possibly in love and relationships. Where are we going to get better at love and relationships and loving our fellow man? Art, beauty, kindness, redemption through those things. From this period of 2 years where we were all forced inside to look at screens to communicate, it's going to be a huge challenge to break that seduction and addiction to dopamine landmines of online living. We need to learn how to talk to people again, how to connect on deeper levels of love through balance, fighting for what's fair and just, and finding a new balance in society from that modern, futuristic dead-end road that we may be going towards. So there may also be a resurgence in craftsmanship, handiworking, the real skills that will serve us when electronics fail us. Tread lightly on this new reality. We were shown scarcity. We were shown the loss that we could have, balancing our life with nature and how we are taking care of the earth. Oh my gosh, there's some huge avocados on this tree. We need to respect the bear in these next 2 years. Remember that life and our society is fragile. Our health is fragile. Our economy is fragile. Inflation is going to be a huge problem. Housing is going to be very expensive. We're going to have all these problems and issues until 2024. We need to really be getting our stuff together with resources, with global economy, with money, and how we're going to move forward as a collective group. But the benefit of these malefic lessons The beauty of them is that when we work for the challenges that Mars and Saturn present to us, we acquire the most valuable knowledge. It really is knowledge paid for with pain and suffering and mistakes. Those are the most valuable, memorable, important lessons, and they're the building blocks to true meaning. We actually value them more than the easy lessons. There's sacrifice before the gifts. We don't like the process of Mars and Saturn. The things that they bring to us are worrisome because they push us out of our comfort zone. They bring pain and suffering at times, but they also bring us strength, they bring us power, and they bring us perseverance, and they really move forward the whole collective into a better space, because hard lessons are ones we don't forget easily. They're not cheap gifts. Good luck to us all in the next 2 years, and I will see you next time.